Okay, so I wanted to finish watching this with you all. This story is absolutely bonkers. Okay? I had to stop watching it because I was at work and I was getting emotional. A house caught on fire. I can't even remember what state they're going to tell us. Okay? A house caught on fire. And thank God it caught on fire because it revealed a crime, a 20-year-old crime, basically. Okay? This lady is nuts. So somehow, this lady managed, I'm trying to fix my shirt. Everything is off and crazy looking. Somehow, this lady managed to hold her stepson captive for 20 years. The man is now 32 years old. So apparently since he was 10 years old then, she has held him captive. Y'all, this story is pitiful. Listen to this.
Who else is in the house? Who else is in there?
My stepson is in here.
She might be acting like she allegedly cares in the slightest about her stepson in this body cam video. But this woman is accused of a crime that not even veteran law enforcement can comprehend.
33 years of law enforcement. This is the worst treatment of humanity that I've ever witnessed.
She allegedly kept her stepson trapped inside this home for 20 years. When rescued, he weighed just under 70 pounds and was 32 years old.
Did y'all hear that? He's not even 70 pounds and he's 32 years old.
She is under arrest, and there are major questions about the failures that would allow this to happen. We're on the case presented by Law and Crime. I'm Chris Stewart. It is hard to come to grips with what police say happened inside this home. You see this picture here. This is in Waterbury, Connecticut.
Connecticut, okay.
Firefighters responded to a call here for a fire on February 17th. Inside that house, they found much more than just flames and smoke. They say they found a terrifying story of abuse and neglect, and they say this woman is allegedly responsible. This is Kimberly Sullivan. Here she is in custody. Police say that she held her stepson captive for 2 decades inside that home.
Crazy as heck.
Police say the man was kept in his room for 22 to 24 hours a day. Before I get into any more of the disturbing details of what allegedly happened in this home, let me lay out the timeline of the night that authorities responded to this fire. Let's begin with the 911 call that we just received.
Oh my God. 911. It's 2 Blake Street. Here.
Okay.
Oh my God, there's a fire outside.
Ma'am, what's
2 Blake Street.
Flames or smoke?
Yes, come on, Steph, come on.
Okay, can you get...
Yes, we need an ambulance, please.
Okay.
Please, we need an ambulance.
Ma'am, all right, you said something's on fire and now you need an ambulance. What's going on there?
Yes, his room, the TV in his room.
Did he get injured? Is he on fire?
Yes, he's injured. Please send the ambulance.
Ma'am, I'm going to send the ambulance. I need to know what's going on and why they're going out there. Where is he injured?
I don't know. He's kind of, I don't know. He's kind of passed out. He's out of it. Please. God.
Here's the newly released body cam video of what authorities found when they arrived.
There's snow and ice on the ground.
Come over here. Go down the road. Come on. Come down. Come down.
Come on, down.
Who else is in the house? Who else is in here?
My stepson is in here.
How many
other people?
Listen,
That's it. I have 2 cats.
Everybody's out?
Yes.
But your stepson's still inside?
Yeah, he's right here.
Okay,
yes.
come out. Come down the road. Come on. Come on. It's not safe to stay here. Come on.
All right, here he is. All right, my dog is shaking.
I know. Come down here. That's true. 87.33 victim.
That's helpful.
Fire victim.
Okay.
Come on.
My
80
dog
seconds
is,
right here.
I
Come
know
on.
my dog.
I know. Come on.
I'm coming.
You're seeing that one victim right here.
Does he have him?
I need to see over here.
Lord have mercy. He's got him. Oh, okay. They've got him.
What you just saw there at
Jesus.
the end of the video was the victim, the stepson, being taken to the hospital. According to the arrest warrant affidavit, a Waterbury police officer described the stepson, known as male victim 1, or as we will call him, MV1, as emaciated. His hair matted and unkempt, was very dirty, and his teeth all appear to be rotten.
Wow.
Days later, in the hospital, MV1 would speak with police officers and give details of what he says life was like over the last 20 years. Before I go into the details of that, here's what the Waterbury police chief said about...
Y'all, I'm not gonna kid. This might be very emotional for me. Like I said, I had to stop watching it. I was watching it like on my break at work, and I had to turn it off. So, excuse me. I mean, I'll apologize ahead of time.
What you're about to hear. This video is from the news conference courtesy of WVIT TV in Connecticut.
Because frankly, what was being reported was unfathomable to us at that point in time. Through those investigative meetings and through search warrants, we were able to seize physical evidence and conduct interviews and dig up some more information that corroborated the victim's story.
This is the Law and Crime Legal Alert. Did you know that children are being diagnosed with serious conditions like type 2 diabetes and non-alcoholic fatty liver disease? And research is potentially linking ultra-processed foods to these outcomes. Our partners at Morgan & Morgan are stepping in to fight to hold food companies accountable. They have decades of experience of standing up to big corporations, and they are ready to stand up and fight for families and make sure that they get justice. So if your child under 21 has been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes or fatty liver disease, visit forthepeople.com/food, or you can scan the QR code on your screen to learn more. According to the affidavit, the male victim told police he was pulled out of public school in 2004 when he would have been around 12 years old. When asked about his earliest memories, MV1 said he would sneak out of his room at night to eat and drink, and when it was discovered that he was doing that, he was locked in his room. He recalled drinking from a toilet because he was only getting 2 cups of water a day. MV1 detailed a life being allegedly held captive in this home by Kimberly Sullivan, who allegedly locked him in his room and would only let him out to do chores. Anytime he would be let out and be around someone, he wouldn't speak about what his life was like inside the home out of fear of being locked down even longer. Police say MV1's dad lived in the house until he died in January 2024, and he was confined to a wheelchair. Then MV1's captivity got allegedly more restrictive. MV1 said that he would have to go to the bathroom in a bottle and on newspaper. There are so many horrifying details in the arrest affidavit that we read through. But this part in particular stood out to me when you try to comprehend what this man says his life was like for 2 decades. MV1 says that he was occasionally allowed to watch TV on the weekends, and once he had a black and white TV in his room, but then that stopped working. He said he would listen to University of Connecticut basketball and NASCAR on the radio near his door to be able to keep track of what year it was. He said he wasn't allowed to have friends, and the only time he was ever allowed to have fun was Halloween. The last time he was allowed to go trick-or-treating, according to CNN, was when he was 12 years old, and his last costume was a firefighter. And that leads us to the fire that allegedly set him free. MV1 says he set the flames himself. He says that he used a lighter that he had taken from his now...
So he started the fire. Thank God, because there's no telling how much longer he would have been kept in that situation. That was so smart of him. Risky, but smart.
Deceased father a year prior, and he used printer paper and hand sanitizer. He told police that he read that hand sanitizer was flammable. MV1 allegedly told Sullivan the fire started because his radio malfunctioned, and then she let him out of his room, but she also demanded that he wash his face before he escaped out of fear that firefighters might notice his appearance. Then the final line of that paragraph hit me in the chest when I read it. It states that MV1 said he laid on the floor with the fire in the house as smoke was going through the home knowing that firefighters would be forced to get him, believing it was the only way out of his situation. Then he was taken to the hospital where he is now recovering and then had the conversation with police. According to the affidavit, MV1 stood at 5 foot 9 inches tall and weighed 68.9 pounds. He told detectives that he started the fire because, quote, I wanted my freedom. He did suffer smoke inhalation during the fire. He's considered to be in stable condition and is recovering at the hospital. While he's recovering, there are certainly a lot of questions about how this was allegedly able to happen and for so long. Waterbury police say the Department of Children and Families made 2 trips to MV1's house in 2004 after he was pulled out of school because there were concerns from the children and teachers at the school that something was going on. The Waterbury police chief said this about those visits in that news conference, this video from WVIT.
We're doing some background investigation. There are 2 incidents that we had within our computer system of dealing with that address and with the family back in 2005. One was a request from DCF to do a welfare check at the location because children that the victim was familiar with hadn't seen him and they were concerned about him. Officers went to the house. The house was clean. It was lived in. They spoke to the victim at that point in time, and there were no cause for any alarm or any conditions that existed that would have led officers to believe anything other than a normal childhood and a normal family existence was occurring.
My question is, what the heck is wrong with his dad? Okay, so this lady is his stepmom. But also in the house was his dad until January 2024. So what the heck was going on in his head that he allowed this?
That was reported back to DCF, and that was the last that we were involved in that particular investigation. We were called back to the house in the latter part of April by the family who wanted to file a harassment complaint against members of the school district, saying that they were continuously reporting them to DCF and felt that they were trying to get the family in trouble and have the family investigated. We have no further information about where that went, other than there was no proof provided by the family that there was any type of harassment that was occurring. As far as the school district's concerned, we are looking at those records now. We're working with DCF to look at records that they may have.
DCF, they're just notorious for dropping the ball. Notorious for dropping the ball. They always stop too soon. My goodness gracious.
From previous investigations, and that's part of the ongoing investigation.
DCF told WTNH in Connecticut that they have no records related to MV1 and his family. They said that in that state, records are expunged 5 years after reports of neglect or abuse are considered unsubstantiated. Now, you may also be wondering, what about other members of this family, about other people who are related to MV1? The New York
Because I heard he had siblings.
Post spoke to the man's biological mom. The woman lives in Meriden, Connecticut, which is about 20 minutes from Waterbury, where her son was allegedly being held captive. She told the Post from outside her house, quote, "We are all trying to come to grips with this horror that my son had to endure." And, quote, "He has family who love him so much and has never been forgotten about."
Well, where in the hell were y'all at? Where were y'all at? Oh my gosh, all these folks are crazy.
The Post says the woman would not answer questions about why she didn't allegedly rescue her son from this abuse. As for the stepmom, here's Kimberly Sullivan appearing in court. She is now charged with assault in the first degree, kidnapping in the second degree, unlawful restraint in the first degree, cruelty to persons, and reckless endangerment in the first degree. Here is what her attorney said outside of court, this per CT Insider.
Absolutely. Yeah, so she completely maintains her innocence. From our perspective, these allegations are not true. They are outlandish. I mean, she was blown away when she heard these allegations.
Man, please.
She's adamant they are not true. This did not happen. And we look forward to being able to vindicate her and show that she's done nothing wrong.
Can you speak on, I guess, what your stance is, what she, I guess you say she's innocent, can you just kind of expand on that?
She's never locked him in a room. That is absolutely not true. He was not locked in a room. She did not restrain him in any way. She provided food. She provided shelter. She is blown away by these allegations.
How come she's not blown away that he doesn't even weigh 70 pounds and he's a grown man? If she's not guilty, she would have got him help for that. Yeah, right.
It is shocking, and what's more shocking to me is how someone can be falsely accused of such a thing.
Okay.
And you mentioned her husband passing away recently.
Correct.
Potentially someone who was
the biological father. Well, I mean, he was the biological father. He's the one that dictated how his son would be raised. We think as the evidence comes out, you will see that she's not the villain she's being made out to be.
Yeah,
Absolutely
right.
not.
You mentioned that the allegations were being corroborated. I mean, how are the allegations being corroborated?
Well, the allegations seem to be based on the words of one individual and one individual.
Based on the words of the victim himself. What are y'all talking about? This man didn't even weigh 70 pounds. If she cared about him, like what? What are they gonna say? He was anorexic, that's why he only weighed 70 pounds? What?
Individual alone. I did not see anything in the warrant to indicate any independent evidence to corroborate these allegations. So we'll see how they stand up at trial. I do anticipate a trial in this case, given the shocking nature of the allegations. She's adamant. She's done nothing wrong.
Oh,
Where's the boy now? Where's the
he ain't no boy. He's a grown man.
I don't know. But you know, my understanding, he's based on my review of the warrant. There was no other person to corroborate any of the claims that were made. And we'll.
Anybody that would represent this woman, you're slime. So he's a slime ball. Let's see what else.
At the appropriate time, we'll get into the motivations and the credibility of any witness.
Sullivan was held on $300,000 bail, and she was able to post that. So she is free right now as this case continues and her stepson recovers in the hospital. Her next court date is reportedly March 26th. The city of Waterbury and the community are now trying to help this stepson as he recovers in the hospital and faces a long path ahead when it
Where are the siblings?
comes to recovering from what allegedly took place. This is a GoFundMe page that the police department linked to on its Facebook page. It's being run by a nonprofit called Safe Haven of Greater Waterbury, and at the time of this recording, it has raised more than $90,000. Talk more now about a really difficult story is Marian Bracha, practice professor of law at Temple University and a former prosecutor. Thank you for taking the time to be with us. I know you in your career, you've worked some really difficult cases. What reaction did you have when you first learned about what police say happened inside this home for 20 years?
Well, first reaction is it sounds like a house of horrors. It sounds like something out of a horror film. It sounds like something out of a Stephen King novel. It's almost something that doesn't seem real. But then when you hear the physical condition that the survivor was in, that the male victim was in, you know that it is all too real, and there is actually physical evidence of what he endured for all that time.
How common are, I know this, and we've heard from law enforcement that have said, the chief said in 33 years of his career, he's never seen something like this. But when you have...
No way that monster is out on the street. Why would they allow her opportunity to pay bail? I mean, why?
Have cases where there is someone who's...
Wait a minute. And she has the nerve to have a cross. Do y'all see this mess? How dare you?
3 years of his career, he's never seen something like this. But when you have cases where there is someone who's being held,
she gonna bust hell wide open. If she stays as she is, she's gonna bust hell wide open. That's just
captive in a home. How common are these types of cases?
I can't say that a case like this comes down the pike every day. I can't say that this is a very common fact pattern that presents itself to prosecutors for consideration. There have been instances where I've seen and reviewed materials for captive-like cases like this in the past, but again, they're few and far between. And the thing to remember with any case involving a dependent person or with a vulnerable victim is that these crimes go on behind closed doors, in the dark, outside of public viewing. These are not what we call quote unquote street crimes that can be captured by surveillance or poll cameras or a police car that's driving by that happens upon a crime scene. These are things that happen really in the dark and are not often discovered by investigators or by the people who are best suited to help.
Police say that he was pulled out of school, public school, in 2004. And then he was, I guess, considered to be homeschooled at the time, and he just fell through the cracks along the way. How can we track somebody who is pulled out of school, but then it appears that there's no record whatsoever? I know DCF went to the house twice and then said that at the time nothing seemed to be wrong, but how does someone fall through the cracks like this?
I think the only phrase to use there is administrative failure. Children, and especially dependent children, children who are being homeschooled, children who are suspected of enduring abuse should not be able to fall through the cracks or have their cases closed by a cursory review. How does that happen? It happens with overburdened systems. It happens with overworked social workers and caseworkers. It happens when, quite frankly, there isn't the systemic.
She is a crazy nut. So I don't know if they ever found out, and I don't want to watch this entire video. This is just depressing. I don't know if it was ever found out, or if any other relatives ever came forward to corroborate his story. It's a shame that his mother lived 20 miles away and she did nothing to try to rescue her son. What was her deal? I mean, is she on drugs or is she a drunk or something? There's no telling what the scenario is, but I just, this just sickens me.